Every billion-dollar company you know, Apple, Amazon, Starbucks, Airbnb, all started the same way. Tiny, broke, and uncertain. A few people, a dream, and an idea that most of the world ignored. But somehow, they didn't just survive, they exploded. So what separates the startups that fail from the ones that dominate industries? What invisible force turns a garage project into a global powerhouse? It's not luck, it's not timing, it's a pattern, a set of principles, habits, and decisions that repeat across every success story in business history. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on that pattern. We'll uncover the 5 critical reasons why small startups scale into massive empires, from their mindset and culture to how they use technology, storytelling, and timing to outsmart giants. By the end of this series, you'll understand exactly what it takes to go from a small idea to a global brand, even if you're starting from scratch. Every legendary startup begins with a problem that someone couldn't stop thinking about. It's not a casual idea or a cool app. It's an obsession. Jeff Bezos couldn't stop thinking about how to sell books more efficiently online. Steve Jobs was obsessed with making technology beautiful and simple. Howard Schultz, he couldn't stop picturing an Italian-style coffee culture in every American city. That's the spark, the emotional core behind every billion-dollar journey. The founders who make it big aren't chasing money at first. They're chasing clarity. They live and breathe their problem until they find a breakthrough. Here's the truth. People don't buy ideas. They buy solutions that feel personal. When your startup is born from genuine obsession, you create products that solve pain points better than anyone else. But obsession alone isn't enough. You need direction, a way to channel that passion into something scalable, strategic, and unstoppable. And that's where the second secret comes, in the art of building small, scaling smart. Here's a myth most entrepreneurs believe: you need huge funding, a massive team, or a fancy office to succeed. Wrong. The greatest startups in history began lean. They didn't try to do everything, they focused on doing one thing perfectly. When Airbnb launched, it wasn't a travel empire, it was just 2 guys renting out air mattresses in their living room. When Facebook began, it was built for a single college campus. Even Amazon, it sold only books. These founders didn't chase scale, they chased proof. This is called the minimum viable product mindset. Build the simplest version of your idea, test it fast, and let real users shape what comes next. Every tweak, every bit of feedback brings you closer to something the market truly needs. It's not about growing fast, it's about growing right, because smart scaling doesn't start with expansion, it starts with efficiency. But once you've built something that works, something people love, that's when the next challenge hits. How do you stand out in a sea of competition? Every successful startup has a story, not a sales pitch, but a narrative that moves people. It's what turns a simple product into a powerful brand. When customers believe in your story, they don't just buy from you, they belong with you. Think about Apple. They don't just sell phones, they sell creativity, rebellion, and individuality. Airbnb doesn't just offer stays, they promise belonging anywhere in the world. Even small startups like Gymshark built empires by sharing their founders' journey from garage to global. The secret? Emotion. Storytelling makes your brand human. It connects your vision to people's values. Every logo, ad, and social post becomes part of a bigger message, one that says, "We see you, we get you, we're building this for you." Startups that master storytelling don't just grow customers, they grow communities, and those communities become the fuel for unstoppable growth. But even the best story needs structure, systems that keep the mission alive while the business expands. That's where culture steps in. Behind every successful startup that turned into a global powerhouse lies one invisible ingredient: culture. It's what drives people to show up early, stay late, and believe in something bigger than themselves. When Airbnb was struggling, Brian Chesky personally emailed every host. When Tesla faced production chaos, Elon Musk slept on the factory floor. That's not strategy, that's culture in action. The founders set the tone, and their teams followed with passion and grit. Culture is the DNA of scale. It defines how teams think, solve problems, and handle failure. The most successful startups create a space where mistakes are lessons, not punishments. Innovation thrives when people feel trusted to experiment and empowered to create. Companies like Google, Netflix, and Patagonia didn't just build businesses, they built belief systems. Employees aren't just workers, they're mission-driven builders. Here's the magic. Culture compounds. When you protect it, every new hire adds energy instead of friction. But when you lose it, even great ideas crumble. Every great startup has two invisible superpowers: technology and timing. You can have the smartest idea in the world, but if you launch too early, no one's ready. Too late, someone else owns your market. The giants we admire didn't just innovate, they arrived exactly when the world needed them. Think of Netflix. It started as DVD rentals when streaming wasn't even a concept, but as internet speed caught up, Netflix pivoted at the perfect moment. Uber launched when smartphones became mainstream and people were frustrated with traditional taxis. Zoom exploded during remote work's global rise. Technology is the tool, but timing is the weapon. Successful founders sense cultural and technological shifts before they become obvious. They read behavior, not just trends. And when those two align, innovation and the right moment momentum becomes unstoppable. That's when investors chase you. But to sustain that growth, startups need something even more powerful than tech or timing leadership. Because scaling isn't just about systems, it's about guiding people through chaos. Every startup hits the storm growth pains, funding crunches, sleepless nights, and impossible decisions. What separates those who collapse from those who conquer isn't luck. It's leadership. The best founders don't just manage chaos, they thrive in it. When things fall apart, a visionary leader doesn't panic, they pivot. Elon Musk pushed through Tesla's near bankruptcy. Sarah Blakely turned rejection after rejection into Spanx, a billion-dollar brand. Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, then returned to build the world's most valuable company. The secret? They see beyond the noise. Great leaders hold a clear vision that their teams can rally behind a North Star that keeps everyone moving, even when the path is uncertain. They inspire, not just instruct. They make people believe that every challenge is fuel for innovation. And here's the truth. Leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about asking the right questions and trusting the right people. But even with great leadership, startups can't rely on charisma forever. They need systems, processes that scale vision into action. Here's the ultimate truth of every startup that becomes a global giant. They don't just sell products, they listen obsessively. Because behind every sale is a story, a frustration, and a human need waiting to be solved. Look at Amazon. Jeff Bezos built the entire empire around one mantra: start with the customer and work backward. Every decision, every innovation came from one question: what makes the customer's life easier? That mindset turned a small online bookstore into the world's largest e-commerce platform. The same goes for Tesla's fanatical user base, Slack's responsiveness to feedback, or Shopify's constant evolution based on merchant needs. The most successful startups treat feedback not as criticism, but as currency. They learn faster, adapt quicker, and build products people can't live without. This isn't customer service, it's customer intimacy. When people feel heard, they become loyal advocates who market your brand for free. But there's one final ingredient that ties all of this together: the unstoppable mindset of founders who refuse to quit, no matter the odds. Here's the part: no one glamorizes the sleepless nights, the rejections, the failures that nearly break you. Every great startup story hides years of grit. It's not just about vision or talent, it's the refusal to quit when logic says it's over. Before Airbnb went global, its founders sold cereal boxes just to survive. Jack Ma was rejected from 30 jobs before founding Alibaba. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. The road to greatness isn't paved with success, it's paved with persistence. What turns small businesses into empires isn't luck or timing. It's the ability to keep moving forward when no one believes, when money runs out, when failure feels permanent. Those who win don't wait for the perfect moment, they create it. Grit turns dreamers into doers, doers into leaders, and leaders into legends. It's the thread that ties together obsession, timing, leadership, and culture, the invisible force that keeps founders fighting long after others give up. Because at the end of every empire story, one truth remains: success isn't built in moments of comfort, it's forged in resilience. And that is the blueprint behind every startup that turned into a global giant. It's not luck, money, or magic, it's mindset. Obsession, storytelling, timing, leadership, and grit. These are the real engines behind success. Every great company you admire started exactly where you are now, with an idea, a risk, and a choice to keep going when others stop. The question is, what will you build? If you're ready to learn the secrets behind how today's founders rise from zero to global impact, hit subscribe, tap that notification bell, and join the movement. Every day, we break down the hidden psychology, strategy, and systems behind the world's most successful entrepreneurs. Comment below which part of the startup journey hit you the hardest: the obsession, the grit, or the story behind it all. Because in this new world, the next billion-dollar idea won't come from a corporation. It'll come from someone hungry enough to start.